In 1953, the CIA ran a program called MKUltra. They dosed American citizens with experimental drugs, without consent, without mercy, for 20 years. When it was finally exposed, the director of the CIA didn't go to prison. He got a medal. The files were ordered destroyed, most of them were. The ones that weren't, you can still read today. But this isn't really about MKUltra. Not really. This is about what happens when someone sees something they were never supposed to see. What happens when a government, any government, decides that one person knows too much. What the system looks like from the inside when that person is you. Today, you are going to live inside this world, level by level. And by the end, you'll understand something most people never get to understand, because most people who understand it don't get to talk about it. Level 1. The finding. It starts with something small. It always starts with something small. You're not a spy. You're not a hero. You're a contractor, a mid-level analyst, a researcher, a guy who just happened to be in the wrong server directory at 11:47 on a Tuesday night. You open a file you weren't supposed to open. You see names, you see dates, you see a number next to a civilian casualty report that doesn't match the public record. Not by a little, by thousands. You close the file. You sit back. Your heart is doing something it's never done before, because part of you already knows. The moment you saw it, the clock started. You just didn't know it yet. Hit subscribe. This is just level 1 and it gets darker. Level 2. The wait you go home. You cook dinner, you sit on the couch, and you try to watch TV, and the numbers keep appearing behind your eyes. You tell yourself it was a clerical error. You tell yourself someone already knows. You tell yourself it's not your problem. You sleep for maybe 2 hours. The next morning you go back in. The file is gone. Not archived. Gone. The folder path returns a 404. The timestamp in your access log is scrubbed. Except yours wasn't. You still have the copy you made. Not intentionally, a reflex. You copied it the same way you'd copy anything, the same way you'd save a recipe or a report. You have it on a personal drive. In your apartment. Under your bed, basically. That is the moment. That is the line. You crossed it without even knowing there was a line. Level 3. The system. Wakes up. Here is something most people don't know. The NSA can identify a leak source from metadata alone in under 6 hours. Not from what you sent, not from what you said. From the pattern of your logins, your keystrokes, the microsecond difference in your file access timestamps. You don't need to tell anyone. You don't need to make a call. The system identifies you the way a body identifies an infection, automatically, quietly, before you even feel sick. Within 24 hours of your access, 3 things happen. Your security clearance is flagged for review, a secondary background check is quietly opened, and someone you've never met is assigned to watch your network traffic. You don't know any of this. You're at your desk, you're drinking coffee, you're answering emails, you're already compromised, and you don't even know you're in the room. Level 4. The contact you call a journalist. A real one. Someone with a reputation. Someone who covered Snowden. Someone who gave you the feeling, even through a phone screen, that they understood what this cost. You use a burner phone you bought with cash at a gas station 40 miles from your house. You feel smart doing this. You feel like you thought it through. You haven't. The burner phone's IMEI is logged the moment you power it on. The cell tower triangulates your position. The purchase was on a gas station camera that feeds to a network you've never heard of. You have given them nothing new. You have given them confirmation. That's worse. The journalist says to meet in 2 days. You agree. You go home. You feel for the first time like maybe you did the right thing. Stay with me. Level 5 is the one nobody talks about. Level 5. The disappearing. You wake up the next morning and your phone is slow. Not broken, slow. Maps lag for half a second longer than they should. Your laptop takes an extra beat to load. Nothing you'd notice if you weren't already paranoid, but you are. So you notice, you check your router logs, because you know how to check your router logs, because that's the kind of person you are. There are 3 IP addresses you don't recognize. They're not Russian, they're not Chinese. They resolve to a data center in Northern Virginia. You know what's in Northern Virginia. You've known since your first day on the job. You close the laptop, you sit very still. They're not coming for you yet. They're deciding. That's the part they don't make movies about. The deciding. The hours before the knock where you're just a case number in a room you'll never see and someone is writing a recommendation about what to do with you. Legal or not. Level 6, the cost. Your daughter turned 7 last week. You sent a gift. You didn't go. You told your ex-wife you had work. The truth is, you'd been scared to make the drive, scared of being watched in a parking lot full of children with balloons and too many parents with phones. The gift was a stuffed elephant. She's loved elephants since she was 3. You remember the zoo. You remember her face when the elephant walked close to the glass. You think about that face now, sitting in your apartment with a copy of a classified document under your bed and 3 government IP addresses in your router log. You haven't called her in 9 days. You tell yourself it's to protect her. Maybe that's even true, but she doesn't know that. She just knows her dad didn't come to her birthday. She's 7. That's all she knows. That's what this costs. Not the career, not the clearance, not the freedom. A 7-year-old with a stuffed elephant who doesn't understand why her dad went quiet. Level 7. Tonight, it's 9:14 p.m. You haven't eaten since this morning. There's a car parked across the street that wasn't there yesterday. Dark color, engine off, nobody gets out. You watch it from behind your blinds for 11 minutes. Then another car pulls up behind it. Same color, same stillness. This is how it ends for people like you. Not a van, not a raid. Just 2 quiet cars on a Tuesday night and a door that's about to knock. You have the drive in your hand. You have 3 minutes, maybe 4. You could flush it. You could run. You could call the journalist right now and read the file out loud into a voicemail and let them sort it out. You think about the numbers in the report. You think about the civilians those numbers represented. You think about your daughter's face at the zoo. You make your choice. Oh, you already knew what it was going to be. You knew it the moment you opened that file. Level 8, the cycle. Somewhere across the city, right now, a mid-level analyst is sitting at a desk at 11:47 at night, tired, behind on a project, navigating a directory they've accessed 100 times before. They click on a folder. A file loads that wasn't supposed to load. They see numbers that don't match the public record. Not by a little, by thousands. They close it. They sit back. Their heart does something it's never done before. They tell themselves it was a clerical error. They tell themselves someone already knows. They tell themselves it's not their problem. And the clock starts again. It never stopped. It never stops. The system doesn't need you specifically. It just needs someone. Someone who notices, someone who can't leave it alone. Someone exactly like you were 12 months ago, before you knew what you know now. If this scared you, subscribe. Next week, we go deeper.